Okay, we gotta be very quiet. I found a very rare find at my local Lowe's, so let's see if we can sneak up on it. Gotta wait. We gotta wait until the brush is clean. Here it is. It's just so hard to find Plasti Dip in its natural environment. Alright, grab everything. What's up, guys? Puzzleman here, and you know what? I get a lot of suggestions and questions and experimental ideas through my email and Facebook, and one of the things that kind of stood out to me was that I got an email where someone used the aerosol cans to tint their tail lights, and after about a year of being on there throughout the summer and everything, it was really difficult for them to take it off. And they were wanting to know what they could do to make it a little bit thicker, but still maintain the whole transparency thing. Now, you can only put so many coats on your taillights before it completely blocks it out. So one of the suggestions, or really one of the questions I got was, if they added Glossifier to it, will that make the Plasti Dip thick enough once you put the black on to peel off a little bit easier? So today, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to put about 6-7 coats of Glossifier down. Then I'm going to go down with about 2 or 3 coats of black and see if that makes it thick enough to peel. And so I'm going to spray it on and peel it off and see how that works. Now on the headlights, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to basically try to change the color of the beams that come out. Basically, I don't think it's going to turn out too well, but I'm just going to go with the yellow, because if I like it, I'm probably going to keep it on there. But yellow is one of those colors. It's not a safety color. It's not red. It's not blue. I've never seen yellow on a cop car or anything, or an ambulance. Tow truck is orange, right? Yeah. So we're going to give this a shot. We're going to put the Glossifier down and see if that makes the Plasti Dip thick enough to remove farther down the line than just a couple of weeks. So let's get this started. With Plasti Dip, it's easy to tell when it's dry. You spray it on. When it's shiny, it's wet. When it's matte or flat, it's dry. With this Glossifier, it's a little bit more difficult. So what I do, and do it how you want, instead of looking at your tail light, because Glossifier is shiny, find a piece of tape where your overspray hit. When it's dry, you're ready for your next coat. Alright, I got about 8 coats of Glossifier. That might be a little overkill. So let's go ahead and go down with a couple of black layers to see how it turns out. Alright, so I'm going to go with my third and last coat. This is going to be pretty dark going 3 coats, but I definitely won't be going any darker than this. So, right or wrong, this is the last one. So this is the blacked out look. I'm actually kind of digging it with the black trunk, so let's check it out with the hazard lights on and see what it actually looks like when you're braking. And because it's not really the popos that I'm worried about. Get out of here. It's the jackass behind me. So let's check it out. So we're still visible, barely. Not the safest thing in the world, but it definitely looks cool. And it's one of those things that if you had to go to a car show and you needed something quick to fog your taillights up, there you go. So I guess at this point, let's go ahead and move on to the headlights and get those done. So I've done 2 pretty healthy coats on here. I'm not really getting a lot of light out of it, but it looks pretty cool. Now I have these secondary lights in the front of my car, so it'll be okay for me. Now for you, again, probably not the safest thing to do, so yeah, that's on you. But let's get this tape off and see how it looks pulled out in the driveway.
This means more.
Now, one thing if I get my ass out the way, one thing you may notice is right here, I have a lot of yellow overspray going over my bumper. Now, that's one of the cool things about self-thin Plasti Dip is once it's sat for a little while, new dip does not quickly adhere to it. So really a quick rub and it comes right off. Alright, so let's get this out in the driveway and see what it looks like. So the tail lights, I'm digging. I'm just really kind of wondering about those headlights and how they turned out. So let's go take a look at that real quick. Damn! Guys, this is fucking horrible.
Looks like 2 eyes staring at you.
This is coming off like right stat now. I think I learned something today. Seems like that glossifier is more for just adding a shine versus being functional Plasti Dip. So wow, that yellow was a real pain in the ass. It was almost like there was nothing there at all. That glossifier really did absolutely nothing to make that Plasti Dip thicker. It's almost like there was no added Plasti Dip to it whatsoever. It was just like peeling 2 very light coats. And I definitely won't be doing that again on my headlights. So let's go ahead and move on to the taillights to see if that's a little bit better. Maybe I did 1 or 2 coats extra just to kind of give it its fair shot. I really don't think it's going to make much of a difference in the peeling, but let's give it a try. Alright, so on the headlights, adding the glossifier, I was pretty unsuccessful at making it thicker. Glossifier is a little bit of a different animal than regular Plasti Dip. It's just kind of meant to add the gloss instead of performing as actual Plasti Dip. But let's see how it performs on the taillights now too. The thought of adding the glossifier to make it thicker really didn't change much at all. I mean, it's peeling off pretty easily, but I got a strong feeling it's because it's still fresh. If this were to bake all summer, I don't know how well this would come off. Alright, so even though it looked really good on there, I really don't think I would trust that to be on my tail lights for an entire summer and then be able to still remove it without some kind of solvent or like the dip remover from dipyourcar.com. But all in all, the tail lights looked great, but it was still really, really thin coming off there. So for the emails that I got, I appreciate the suggestions, but in my opinion, it worked for short-term use, but I certainly wouldn't rely on that to make it thick enough to peel after an entire summer. So that's pretty much it. Come check me out on my Facebook page, facebook.com/iamthepuzzleman, or check me out at my website, www.iamthepuzzleman.com. And as always, Have a great project and don't be a follower. Do it yourself.